Going on, guys? Daniel here from Ohio Badlands. Today we're out in Mayville, New York, out at the farm. As you can see, Will just got our clover plot all cut up. As you can see, after the last video, after cutting it, we definitely got a lot more clover to come inside the plot. Down here it's a little hard. There's a lot of grass, so we're gonna have to come in here with a herbicide and probably clean up the grass to let the clover fill out more, but it definitely has gotten better just from mowing. So we got a few things to do today, nothing really crazy, but Will's up here. We had a bunch of ragweed come up in our corn plot, which was a total of 3 acres. That what's she barking at? Looking at the woods? Oh well, whatever. But so come on. We're gonna cut, he's mowing down all the ragweed right now, and then we're gonna go through those areas where the corn just didn't come up the best and spray it a little bit, make sure it all dissipates, and then we're probably gonna throw some oats in there next weekend, potentially, possibly, who knows. If not, we're gonna just leave it and hopefully it just doesn't come back after we spray. But as you can see, we got this nice little clover plot all mowed down and just clover and some grass. But I don't know what else we're gonna really do, but we're gonna head over here, talk to Dylan, watch Will mow down this ragweed, and go check out our new turnip plot that we planted about a week ago. So stay tuned. Probably not gonna be the longest video, maybe freshen up a little scrapes, but not much work. Pretty much all of it's done, and we'll get to show you some nice pictures at the end of the video or throughout the video of some deer as we go to each spot we've had them in. So yep. So as you can see what I was saying, here we'll go down the area he already cut. We got to it way too late. I mean, we're talking 3.5, 4 feet of just ragweed, and little spots of the corn came up, but we're not going to keep that. But we'll head down to the bottom and show you where it did come up very nicely. Show you that, and then also go look at the turnip plot we planted a week ago. Alright guys, so I'm going to walk you through what Will's cut right now and show you his little bit of the corn, because he's knocking all this down, all this ragweed down with the brush hog, because it's just terrible. It's well close to hip high. But so as you can see, this is where the majority of the really good corn grew. So I mean, it's pretty good, because I mean, it kind of helps cover this lower side of the field to make the deer feel more comfortable, as they can kind of travel down on the lower right side of this field more comfortably and not see anything happening up on top of this road. Just as unfortunate we couldn't get it to grow fully through it, just the ragweed took over. So we're gonna probably kill this tonight and then eventually broadcast some oats into it. So I'm gonna take you guys next through this little patch of corn and beautiful ragweed, and show you what I was talking about on how it's kind of like a screening for this lower side of the field. So the way our field is, it's kind of slanted downwards, unfortunately. This field's very undeveloped in the back, which is why we struggle every year to grow things efficiently and let it reach maturity. And our beans in the way front are doing amazing, and we're getting loads of pictures and deer in them. So, but getting to the point here, as you can see, it grew in very nicely to the point where this whole bottom half, the deer can move down here and feel comfortable, because they have this corn that's kind of blocking the upper part of the field. And it also, I mean, we got some that grew very nicely right through here, down a little further, but as you get closer to that over there, the corn is non-existent and it's just nothing but ragweed. So the stand we have at that island is just kind of unfortunately only going to be really used probably during gun season. But if our oats come up really well, I guess you can hunt that in the early fall too as well. But we've had tons of pictures. We used to have a camera actually right there on that tree over there, kind of like covering this field edge before we even had corn, because last year we had turnips down and brassicas in this upper plot with oats and nothing like main crop like corn. And we're gonna leave the corn standing all year, maybe cut a little bit, but as you can see, we kind of have like little areas throughout. We might broadcast something, but we're not really sure yet. But we have a water hole down there that we originally were going to try to make a pond, but we just didn't have the time to do it and get the equipment to be able to do it. So what else? Now that I'm looking at the edge of this field, there's so many deer trails shooting right out, more than there used to be, and there was already a bunch. But the corn, it should help us out, give us enough food, because we planted it very thick, as you can see, but a lot of it's already cobbing. It's about probably 8 feet tall in its best spots, on average probably 6 feet, but it's starting to cob really nicely. So I'll walk down further and show you a little bit of those cobs on these, because the farther you go down, you can see it just kind of gets taller right down there in the better areas. It's just kind of odd to me also that the corn grew so well on this lower part, because our turnips and brassicas struggled really hard down on this lower side. So, but the corn had no problem. You can see like a little slight deer trail kicking right through there in the corn. Wouldn't be surprised if some deer bed in the corn, but with how much we're here and doing work, I'm also not sure if they are. But as you can see here, I mean, let me personally just stand next to it. Like, let's go in here a little bit. It's really tall, so that's a plus. And it's actually kind of funny because we also have a lot of clovers growing in here as well, as you can see, which is nice to see. But and a lot of ragweed, but we have some good corn, a lot of it no, and we're probably only stuck with like an acre and a half of it, but it's better than nothing, I guess. It could have just not grown like our beans did last year at all. Like our beans in the front field where we grew them this year, 3 acres roughly, 3.5. They're all grown. They look great in the best spots. They're almost about hip high up to me, which is phenomenal. That's where we had corn. It did really good there last year, and we killed a lot of geese out of it. Had a lot more geese in it than we killed. But yeah, we're gonna get some cool cinematics of Will mowing this shitty ragweed, and maybe do a few other things. Definitely scout for some deer this evening, and our beans maybe out back in the fields as well. So stay tuned. Alright guys, so I just got to our front field, which is where we grew 3.5 acres of beans, and this is what it looks like. So I would say we get a lot of beans, which is really good for late season. I don't know if we're gonna put a blind up here and maybe hunt it during rifle. The only unfortunate thing is we have the cabin, so I don't know how many deer really would be giving us an opportunity during the shooting hours, but rather say, as you can see, they came in very nicely. Not many grasses, definitely higher in some areas versus others, like where our lovely boy Will's dad had his garden up there, where they're about high. As you can see, there's a post somewhere in there, and they're almost about at the top. I could actually see the post right now. I'm sure you guys can see that. Right there, that little fencing right there. Those beans are almost about to reach over that fence, which is great because we've had a lot of browse pressure, a lot of deer up here, and they're still seemingly to look great. Not as high up here, but we planted a forage soybean, so we have a lot of leaves and a lot of beans and pods growing on them. So the deer are gonna hit these until they start to turn orange, and then they're gonna really hit them when we get harsh winters and whatnot, and eat the beans and the pods. So can't wait to see when that time comes and how much more deer we hold. So the beans right up near where the cabin is are looking amazing. As you can see, there's that hole I showed you guys earlier right there. As you can see, the beans are about to go over the top of it, and they're super thick throughout this area and all the way up the driveway. So we got a lot of food for these deer, so we should be able to hold a big herd. Alright, so Will just finished cutting down. We're gonna grab a camera we have not really had many pictures on, probably a total of 5 since we've put it out, and that was last 2 videos ago when we did some stand work, but we're in the bottom side of the field in the woods. Obviously you can see absurdly thick, but we have a camera up over here that we have a trail named the Fern Trail because it's covered in ferns underneath these pines. So we're gonna grab this 3-way bedding camera and move it over near the way back side of the property. It's about an acre they own on the other side of the power lines, and it's right near a marsh, and we're gonna move it on a trail that comes up from the water. So, and put this one on there and see if we can get any nice bucks and whatnot, and see what deer we have that live over there, and compare and see where we're best at on setting up a stand over there. So this is kind of what the camera was pointing at. You got like a trail coming there, trail shooting from there, trails coming from over there, and then they shoot through here going out towards the right side of the field. Camera right there. We had like 4 pictures, no good bucks. I think it was like the same fawn every time. So we're gonna move this camera about, what would you say, 300 yards that way. Alright, so we just made it to the power lines. We follow this down through, and you can't really tell obviously, but there's a huge marsh back there. I know Will has gotten the luxury to duck hunt it. You want to tell him how that experience was?
Oh, it was alright. Just gonna put it that way. Shot 1 woody, and then shot another woody, and then a mallard, but I couldn't find them. And I searched for like an hour and a half. So,
but other than that, pretty good duck hunting spot. I remember him telling me it was just flooded with birds, just really hard in the fall to find them in there when you don't have a dog to retrieve them. So we're gonna head back there, look around for areas to hang a stand that is on this trail that we have 1 camera on, and then also find a trail that comes up from the water to hang the small tree cell cam on. So, yep. So this is the camera, the cell cam we have up right here, right on the edge of the marsh, which is down in there past these pines and trees. Got a huge trail that runs right through here, down through the edge of the whole entire marsh. We have endless tree options to hang a beloved tree stand in, and I think that's what we plan to do tomorrow, not today, because we want to do a little bit of scouting later. So got to get out from the woods and ease the pressure. So we're going to try to find a trail for that cell cam in Will's hand coming from the water. So we're going to follow this deer trail that leads right along the marsh all the way down off of Will's property, and we're going to do a little bold risky move here, hang up a little cell camera on the national forest, which out here in western New York is also public land to hunters. So hopefully it doesn't get stolen. What's your plan, Bill?
I don't know. Haven't figured that out yet.
So, central kind of idea we got going right here is we got this really thick area that borders right up against the marsh. There is a lot of trails coming up right in this general area, all with ferns, and you have come over here, step over this tree. You got a little kind of a creek system here, and it kind of just opens up right into here and then goes into hardwoods up there and pines. So we don't really know where to hang up this camera, but we kind of want it to be in this general area. So we're gonna try to figure that out right now. We're just gonna settle with this tree right here, the angle of the camera towards the water, and also all the angles at these different trails. So hopefully we can come up with some good pictures and nice bucks. Alright guys, so that's probably about all the work we're gonna do today at the farm. We split wood from like 9 a.m. to about 2 o'clock and did some other maintenance things around for the cabin. So we're gonna charge up the camera, eat some food, take a little break, and then probably either drive around the property or walk around and scout and try to see if we could see some of these bucks we've had on camera, or drive around the surrounding properties around the cabin to see if we could also lay our eyes on these bucks we get pictures of. So stay tuned for that. We're gonna go grub a little bit.
You're lucky I don't have chili here.